Okay, so let's look over here. Look at all these dust extractors we got. Let me just call out the dust extractors we have here in North America. We got the CT48. We got the CT48 Auto Clean. We got the CT36. We got the CT36 Auto Clean. We got the CT26, CT15. We have the MIDI. We have the Mini. Hey, no, that's the Mini. Okay, we have a CT Mini. We named it after her. Okay, and we have the CT Sys. Almost all of these are the same CFM. You see these all right up here? These are 137 CFM. This one and these are what? 130 CFM. And this is 105 CFM. Okay, you know what? The difference between 130 and 137 is not that great. So to choose the right CT, it's the capacity. Okay, how much does the bag hold? There's a bag in these, and we're going to cover that today. Okay. Okay, almost every one of these, except for the CT48s, come with, or the CT48 Auto Clean and the CT36, they have separate hoses, as well as what? The CT15 has the non-anti-static hose. So when we look at that and we start talking about hoses, almost every one of these CTs comes with this hose. Okay, this is our conical hose. We call it our 27 millimeter hose. All right. If we look right here, okay, you can actually connect them. To connect them is super easy. We have 36 millimeter hoses. We have 50 millimeter hoses. To connect them, they're that simple. And some of you may have the old ribbed hoses. They're not this easy to connect. And this is what I always tell people when I talk about hoses. Oh my goodness. To connect them, we've learned over the years what the big struggles were, is how to connect the hose. So we innovated a few years ago and came out with this wrapped hose that has nylon on it on the outside, and it's very flexible. And you know what? It's not that much lighter than the older hoses, but it's much more flexible. And it doesn't have all those catch points like the old ones have. Okay, now, this is the 36. When you're connecting hoses, always connect the larger one toward the vac. Follow? Okay, so the 36, that end goes into the vac. Then you connect it to your 27 like that, and you're ready to go. Now, someone says, well, why do you have a 36 millimeter hose? More airflow. Okay, so say you have a connection point like this. This is one of the things I loved when I first came to Festool, and I started understanding the system. Okay, when you see an aperture like this, or a diameter like this, okay, this is why the 27 comes with almost every single one of the dust extractors. Look, you see this end? It goes inside. And look here on the sanders. It goes right on the outside, right? Okay, but what's really important is now if you want to up the airflow to what? A 36, it goes on the outside as well. Let me just get that on there. See that? And it locks on now. You just got to line up these little arrows right here. To the arrows, you push it all the way on. You turn it, and that will never come off. So that's been innovated over the years. Follow? Good. You see how that goes in like that? Okay, and I'm pulling. All right. This here is our turbo head. All right. Listen to this. You can hear that, right? Okay, that's the airflow. Not yet, man. No, we're going to do it. I'm a little ways away, babe. Minnie's going to be my dust extractor variable suction when I talk about it. Okay, now, the way this is driven, so you can see it, I'm going to undo it just like this. Air is being pulled across this turbine. See it? I can actually stop it. And what happens is this is it's basically a carpet beater, okay? Now you heard that, okay. So say I need more airflow, not just for that, you can hear it with the turbo head, but say I'm running a Capex. Say I'm running one of our larger routers. I'm making a huge amount of chip. Say I'm using a TS75 or a TS55. You can put a 36 millimeter on there, and you can really up the airflow. Listen to this now. It's substantial, isn't it? Okay, so the other one I get, or we get as trainers, is what makes a Festool dust extractor so different than everybody else's. Now, at one time, we were the only ones that had this feature. And we've been, people have actually seen the value of it, so it's on other dust extractors now. But I don't think people actually understand why we have this button. And you probably own one of these. We've had them on all our CTs since the beginning. It's variable suction. I've heard people call it variable speed. But do you actually know why? So I want to show you why. So I'm going to step over here. I got a variable. I got my ETS 125 REQ hooked up. Okay? And I'm sanding this board, or I will be sanding this board. So as I start it up like this, whoopsie, I'll put it on auto. Okay, so I think you all know this. You see where it says 0? That means off. Manual means it's on all the time. Auto means when I cycle this machine on, or any machine, it automatically comes on. Okay, so I'm going to be sanding, right? And you ever use a sander just like this, or an orbital sander, and you feel it start to chatter a little or pull in? I can almost pull this up, okay? It's too much suction. Hey, man, can you come and turn that down for me? Because hopefully you can see this. As I'm sanding with this, all the way down. Perfect. That is actually starting to float. I'm still getting killer dust extraction, but the pad has broken the surface tension. Okay? On orbitals like the DTS, RTS, it really pulls down in there. I wish I had, it sounds funny, I wish we had feel-o-vision, because when Minnie turned that down, my hand started to float on that sander. Okay, so hopefully you understand that. Turn the suction down when you're using a random orbit sander and orbital sander from Festool, okay? It helps prevent these wonderful little things that you only see when you put finish on. They're called swirl marks. So that's one of the factors that's why we have variable suction on our dust extractor. Hopefully you understand that. And that eliminates question number 2. That's very common. Is what's that little green button for on there? Why do you have variable suction? Okay, so Garrett was in here earlier, and I sent him the outline. I'm calling you out, Garrett, okay, because he didn't believe me. We used to get this question all the time. Not recently, like the last 5 years, but we used to get this all the time. Oh, the system takes a bag? Or my favorite question of all time, okay? It's kind of like when somebody asks me the question, I'd go, okay, I kind of understand it and I don't understand it. How long does a bag last? Well, how long does it take to fill? Well, what are you sanding? And I'd always joke around and say, what are you sanding? And I'm going to pull the CT26 off so you can see this. And and they go, oh, I'm sanding a house. And I'd ask that other question, are you sanding in a house or a bird house? Because if you're sanding bird houses, that bag's not going to fill for a while. But if you're sanding houses, you're removing the paint, they're going to fill up pretty quick. And I would see this all the time because people think you're going to empty the bag. That would be a big no-no because you're defeating why you have a bag system. You need to put a new bag in every single time. Now, some of you online are probably going, well, I empty my bag. Guess what you're doing? You're breathing the dust you don't want to breathe. Okay? Okay, I'm done lecturing. Done. Okay? So let's look inside. I'm going to open her up. Okay? And there's a bag in here. Okay? There's your filter. That's another top question I'll cover. Follow me on this. See this tab here? Okay? These are a fleece bag. By the way, if you don't use a bag, no, you're replacing the $100 HEPA filter. Okay, because as soon as a chip goes in there and pierces that, that's no longer 0.3 micron. That's no micron. All right, you have ruined your filter. If you see dust flying out the side of your dust extractor, you don't have filtration. You're breathing that stuff. It's going up in the air, and you got to wait for that stuff to come down so you can go to your finishing. This is a 5 micron filter. This is the containment bag, right? When I open it up like this, right? See this right here? I take it like this and I pull it shut and I throw it away. By the way, these will fill and fill and fill and fill till these things become what we call bricks. So when I used to work the phones way back when, I used to get all the time, hey, I'm running my CT dust extractor, and it shuts off. I go, did you check the bag? And I go, there's a bag in there? And people would open this up, and what was happening is the MMC, the multiple material control, was shutting down the motor before it heated up too much. You were overheating your machine. So this will fill and fill and fill till it's like hot as a rock. We call it the brick. So always check your bag, okay? I usually go like this to backfill it and continue using this. The bags last a long time if that's the question you want. They fill to maximum capacity. And that's what I would always tell people. That's how long a bag lasts. Cool? Cool. Now, there's another type of bag. I'm going to open up the CT Sys, and I want you to see this. And I want you to understand the gallon capacity on this. This is a 1 gallon capacity. Okay, here's the bag system. I'll open it up. It still has a blast gate. You throw it away. But this fills up pretty quick. Okay, we have a bag system. I have one over here. I'll bring it over. I had it here yesterday. We make them for a variety of our sizes of bags. The mini, the midi. They take the same one. We make them for the 36, all of them. These are called long life bags. Okay, where you have your blast gate here. I mean your blast gate. Your cover, so you can go empty it, and you can put it right on in like this, and then when you need to empty it, you take it and empty it out. Okay? Now, I'm going to contradict myself because I told you not to empty these. This is an easy empty, okay, over the dumpster, okay, or trash can, and that way there. Now, when it comes to these larger ones, I only recommend them for like bigger chips, okay? Because you don't want to breathe all that dust. But this is really cost effective for the CT Sys, and I thought I'd show you that. They're called long life bags. I usually recommend them for people using the routers or our HL850 planer where they're filling up 2 or 3 bags in a room, okay? But it's big chips and not a lot of fine dust. Hopefully that came across right. Now, while we have this open, remember I told you if you don't use the bag and you're going to have a splinter come in and it's going to pierce the filter? That's a HEPA filter. I told you it will no longer be HEPA filter, right? This is another common question. How do you change the filter? It's pretty simple. You take it out and you take it over to the trash can and you tap it clean. Don't blow air through there. Because if you blow air through there, you're going to pierce a hole in there if you're leaving it at 90 PSI. And guess what? It's no longer a HEPA filter. Hopefully you follow that one. What I suggest, if you don't want to take it out to a dumpster, I suggest buying an additional dust extractor from Festool to vacuum it out. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Good idea? Okay, while I have the filter out, one of the other top questions we have is, hey, does Festool make a wet vac? Almost every one of our dust extractors is a wet vac. The CT Sys is not, okay? But yes, you can make them a wet vac. Well, first thing you do, the conversion's quite easy, and I think common sense you might understand. You take out the bag. Because that makes really good cookie dough, all right? So you take out the bag and you put in this filter. We call it the foam breaker, all right? And it fits right in here, and what happens is to explain this, all right? See how that goes right in there? I call this the Festool sponge. Okay, it goes in like this, and it goes in replacement of the HEPA. Now, if you've ever used a wet vac before, right? The water's only going to go up to here, right? But the situation is this. It's the foam that rises on top, the bubbles. That breaks, that foam filter has to go in there because that's a direct line into the turbine and we don't want it rusted. So the foam breaker breaks the bubbles. Now, it will electronically shut off if we look right in here. See these two little steel tabs? They look like little teardrops in there. You got that, Chris? Okay. That's called level stop. When the water hits that, it electronically will shut it off because those tabs, those two steel tabs, go right to here on these two tabs and goes right into our electronic board right here and electronically shuts it off. It's not a mechanical because sometimes those have a failure to them. Now there's another steel tab here. Okay, remember I said earlier about the hoses? And I'll pull one right over here. Where are you, hose? There you are. I kicked you under the STM. Okay? This is only anti-static on the Festool system. Okay? This is made out of a high carbon content plastic. So it's conducive to electricity, but it's grounded right here on the steel tab. So it goes from that steel tab to this steel tab to this little pole right here. And that is grounded. As long as your outlet is grounded. Okay, there's some older houses up in New England, for instance, that sometimes they don't have a grounded system. So this isn't anti-static because the whole system isn't grounded. Hopefully you understand that. So that's a little bit of how you set it up to be a wet vac. On the Mini and the Midi, it's a little bit different. Yeah, you have a HEPA filter. They're cartridges. Okay, and it's an external. It's an external filter. There's an auto clean feature, a blower port. I don't want to get too much into it because I could do a full hour just on the Mini and the Midi. But one of the questions we've been getting a lot lately, and I wanted to make sure I covered this because there's a lot to it that people just don't understand. And I'm going to see if I can cover it fairly thoroughly today. It's this. It's the Bluetooth module. So, Chris, I'm going to have you walk over here. I'm going to kick stuff out of your way. All right? This is how your CT comes with this. Okay? These are two 5mm tabs. Make sure it's completely unplugged when you do this. It takes literally 30 seconds to do. Take the screws out. This is a plug and play, and there's a portion there. Now, I want to point this out to you. This is not Bluetooth, and the CT15 is not Bluetooth at all. Okay? But the Mini and Midi come Bluetooth enabled. So you don't need a module. Only places where you see this can you use Bluetooth. Cool. So you take the plate out. You install this. It comes with a remote and two straps. One for the 27mm, one for the 36mm. Okay, pretty simple. This is the remote. See how it's not working? Okay, now here comes the confusing part. Chris, I'm going to come in here so you can see this. I have it hooked to this one because I want you to see this. I'll just take my Cyclone off, just like this, so you can see it. Now, you have two green buttons. Okay, see where it says, oh, let me do this. This is going to be, I don't mean to be confusing, please. Okay, so I have it on auto, and when I hit this, okay, see how it's just going slow? Now I'm going to turn it off. This won't sync this. Look, it won't sync it. I have to hold it so it goes faster. See how it's whipping around now? And look. Oh, I know why. Hang on. That remote has already got the remote on here. Okay, so I didn't do this on purpose. I promise.
Whoopsie.
Okay. I'm going to decommission this remote. See how I'm holding it like that? You hold both simultaneously until it turns pink. Because I know this one was working this morning. Okay, see how it's pink? In the owner's manual, it says magenta. I think it's more of a fuchsia. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. I'm going to start over again. I'm going to hold it until it goes faster, and now I'm going to sync it. Okay, you see how that's working now? And that's on and off. Just like that. Okay, so that works. Now, here's where the confusion gets. Now, I can unplug this, plug it back in. It's still going to work. I have to hold those two buttons to decommission it while it's unplugged or at 0. Okay, so that's one of the things that people get confused at. They just hit the button and they think it's going to work. You got to hold it till it whips around quicker. Now, you'll see where the TSE comes with Bluetooth batteries, right? Look, I want this to sync on. Okay, now there's two ways of doing this. And this is why I can go right here, look. Okay, see how it's going slow? I can go like this, look. And now it's going to sync. But here's the situation with this. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to unplug it. Let me just unplug it. That's my secret outlet right in there. Okay. And then I'm going to plug it back in. And you're going to see, once I do that, this doesn't work anymore. Okay. I can go over and hit it again, and it works. But what if I'm doing something, and I want it, and I have a wicked long hose on there. I don't want to get down off the ladder, whatever I'm doing, and I need to sync that battery. See this button right here? I can hit that. Look at it. And I can sync my battery just like that. While this is on the hose, and check it out, you just take this, and the little tip I can tell you is I never chuck them all the way up. I always chuck it a little down, so I still have the flexibility of this going on and off of my tools. So hopefully that explains Bluetooth. They work. Oh my God. I don't have the capability in my personal shop at home for Bluetooth. And boy, do I miss it, because I'm wicked lazy. Walking about 20 feet across the shop, I sure wish I had that. I'm going to say it right now. I'll be a little salesy. Get Bluetooth. It is amazing. Now, if you have a Mini in the MIDI, it comes enabled. The only thing you need is a Festool cordless tool, because they all come with Bluetooth batteries. But also, you can also purchase a remote separately. You use the Festool system on the job site, in the shop, right? And if you look in the catalog, or you come to a showroom here at Beaver Industrial Supply, you're going to see all of these right here, these sustainers. And in these sustainers, if I can come down here, and Chris, we can get in here and look, okay? We call these cleaning kits. Almost everything is available separately. But a cleaning kit is a wonderful accessory because, of course, you're going to have that debris you don't capture. Say you got a planer or something else, okay? Is the audio still going? Okay. So much for the remote, eh? Okay. We can't remember everything. Okay. So you can take this, and you got a wand here, and this plastic is extremely durable. You got a crevice tool, upholstery tool, and you get a sweep with these multiple heads, one for wet, with these squeegee, we used to call these squeegee lips, but they're these squeegee thingies, okay, and a bristle brush. So this is great to add on, but I packed one special one. Garrett insisted I pack this one because this one is our tradesman kit, workshop kit, right? Yep, okay, he's paying attention. Inside here you get a wand, you get a sweep, you got a brush, you get all the stuff you're going to need, okay? But the hose you get in here is a 36 millimeter hose. Aha. Let's start over here. This is your hose that comes with your, okay, it's a 27 to 32 millimeter. It's called out. It's a 3.5 meter long, so that's roughly 11 feet long, a little bit more. All right. It comes with, and hear me out on this, the new MIDI eye, the new mini eye, the 26, 36, and CT48. Okay? It's always been this hose, the 27, but now it's 27 to 32. That helps with the airflow. It's a lot smoother. Now, here's can be a little confusing because I mentioned MIDI eye and mini eye. It is a straight connection. Prior to
the beginning of 2019, we manufactured the Mini and Midi. And when you look in the catalog or online, you'll see, and make sure if you have one of those, make sure you get the one that calls it out, because this is the right angle and that's how it fits in there. The straight will not fit. So that's why we will always have this. It's a right angle attachment to fit nice and easy in those Midis and Minis prior to 2019 or January 2019. Okay, so that eliminates quite a bit right there. Whew. Now, we have different diameters. Okay, I'm kind of skipping around here, but this is important, and different lengths. We have a 27 millimeter to 32 and a 36 millimeter. And everybody goes, what's the difference? It's not 9. Okay, it's a huge difference in airflow, and that's why we have that. Now, a lot of the times, a lot of folks over the years have said, and in fact at Festool we finally said it's about time when this came out, because when the CT48 Auto Clean came out, it comes with this hose, and it's a little bit different. Okay, this hose is a 3.5 meter, almost 11 foot. But check it out. You see where it says, I labeled this 32 to 36. This is conical hose, so it's actually better airflow. And this comes with the CT48 Auto Clean. This is important, okay? But it also came with this, because this won't fit, and I'm gonna run kind of crazy over here to grab this. I wanna grab a sander right here. So what if I'm using this cordless sander, ETS 125 EC, okay, cordless, with a dust extraction, right? The 36 won't fit. But now what we can do is with this adapter, we can take that and hook it. So the CT48 Auto Clean is one of those dust extractors we say it's the end-all, be-all. The Auto Clean, you can hook up a Planex. Everything ends in X. But this is the confusing part. Oh, and this is one of the things I clarified up in Chicago this week. Here's the Planex 2.0, okay? Here's the connection port, right? There's a lock-on feature, but the CT48 Auto Clean doesn't lock on. That doesn't lock on. So it'll fall off when you're sanding with this. You need the Planex hose. The Planex hose comes with the CT36 Auto Clean. Hopefully that clears some of the confusion, because guess what? It comes with this end right here, and you'll see it's got this little mechanical end like this, and when I put it on the Planex 2.0 or the Planex EZ, which also has a lock-on feature, it actually locks and will not fall off when you're sanding high up on the wall or on a ceiling. So this is still anti-static, but this is the only one that has a cable in it. And the reason it has a cable is so it doesn't degrade when those contractors are like this and they're going for a rest and pinching it. So hopefully that made some sense, and that is why we always package our Planexes when we have certain package deals with the CT36 Auto Clean. But you can buy this hose for your CT48 Auto Clean. And always remember, whenever you're using a Planex, make sure the dust extractor you're working with the Planex, is the Auto Clean version, because that's the only one that actually keeps up with the Planex, because it is a drywall sanding monster. It's unbelievable. Somebody out there scratching their head going, I thought I could connect hoses. And this is such an innovative thing, and this is why I love working for Festool, because we don't sit back and say, hey, we got a great hose, or we got a great track saw, or we got a great router. We're always innovating. We're always making stuff better. And it's because of some of the things that you have gone through and have given us input. Hear me out. Okay, so check this out, because I'm going to tell you what, as a trainer, this has been frustrating over the years. I've done several videos on this. I've done PDFs, internal, external for people. I think it was in 2007 I did my first one for Inside Sales for Julie, because she was confused, because you guys were really confused. Here's what I'm talking about. You can connect hoses. So we're going to talk more about innovation. These are the old hoses. And you probably may have some of these. They're still good. They're anti-static. All the green hoses that we have in here, including this black one right here, are anti-static hoses. What's that mean to you? Anti-static means you won't have any dust clog on the outside, less dust clogging on the inside because it doesn't adhere to it because of static charge, and also less potential for getting a static charge in arid environments. But it's all grounded right here on the CT dust extractor. There is a little tab in here. It's steel, okay, and it's grounded right in here. And when you go home today, whether it was a 22, 33, or all the ones I've talked about, there is a little grounding tab in there. So anti-static is huge, right? But one of the things, and these were anti-static as well, there was a catching point on it, wasn't there? It would catch on your rail, it would catch on your MFT. That's why we innovated the hose like this. It's nice and smooth, but it's also wicked flexible. So hopefully you've upgraded. We've had that innovation out for about 4 or 5 years. Maybe I'm pushing it, maybe 3 or 4 years. I've lost track of time, right? But we've always had a 36 and 27. So people would come in and say, hey, I need to connect hoses. So they look at a catalog and go, give me a hose connector. Okay, so I'm going to take this, look. And where this fits is pretty easy. This is the vac end, and you got to connect them. It doesn't work. Okay, even with the connector, look, it doesn't connect. I was frustrated. When I first saw that, I said, there's something wrong. I got the wrong hose connector. So here's your 36, and this is the part that goes in your dust extraction, right? Guess what? If you look at it, that's what you got to connect, right? But this end doesn't go in the dust extractor. So what you have to do is purchase for the right diameter hose what was known as a rotating adapter. I'm going to leave this on my 27. We have them for 27s and 36s, okay? So I'm going to take the tool end off, and you have to use a Festool screwdriver for this. But you're going to see these little tabs. Chris, come in here so we can get this. You press it in like this. I usually turn it like this to release it. I press it like this. I turn it to release it. Okay? This screws on. It comes with one of these and one of these little latches, but these are reverse thread. Okay? So you take it like this, you put it on, and then you buy a rotating adapter, and this slips on. So now you have 2 hose ends. And when you get proficient at this, maybe that took 30 seconds, right? That's 30 seconds I don't want to waste. But guess what? That's how you connect hoses. And remember, when you are connecting hoses at length, always put the larger diameter toward the vac and your smaller diameter toward the tool. Hopefully that makes sense. Or you could go out and buy a little over 22 foot, 7-meter hose. But think about it. Maybe you have a 27 millimeter and you upgrade to the new 27 millimeter. Buy a rotating adapter for the old 27 millimeter. There's one unfortunate thing when you do that. You have choke down points at those connections. Aha! But here's the innovative thing. Woo! Let's look inside that. Okay, I don't like wasting time, and I think this is one of the most innovative things we've done over time, because guess what? We listened. See the inside? I need to put a 36 millimeter. Okay, it goes right on the outside of that and locks together. How easy is that? So I could take that 32 or 36 and hook it in to the dust extractor, and I have a very long, and now I have a 22 footer, right? I have 11 and 11. 3.5, 3.5. It's amazing how you can connect hoses. Just always, always remember, put the larger diameter back toward that. Or, I could take my old 27 now. I don't have to put a rotating adapter. I can have the 27 in, 27, and I got it. Hopefully that makes sense. Or I could take my old 36 millimeter with the hose or the tool connection on there and go for it. So don't throw away those old hoses, just get a new one because of that end.